king, behold, we have truly acquainted thee with what we have seen concerning this child. If it seemed good to the king to give his father value for this child, we will slay him before he shall grow up and increase in the land. And his evil increased against us, that we and our children perish through his evil.
Sound familiar? Where else could happen that in the Bible? Pharaoh. Exodus. Government been persecuting the chosen seed. It ain't nothing new. Come on, brother.
And the king heard their words, and they seemed good in his sight. And he sent and called for Terah, and Terah came before the king. And the king said to Terah, I have been told that a son was yesterday born to thee, and after this manner was observed in the heavens at his birth. And now therefore give me the child, that we may slay him before his evil springs up against us. And I will give thee for his value, thy house full of silver and gold.
So your child got a price on him, huh? Give me your child, slay him. I'm going to hook you over a little silver and a little gold. Take and reward to kill the innocent. That's happening today. They call it abortion. Come on, brother.
And Terah answered the king and said to him, My lord and king, I have heard thy words, and thy servants shall do all that his king desires. But my lord and king, I will tell thee what happened to me yesterday, that I may see what advice the king will give his servant. And then I will answer the king upon what he has just spoken. And the king said, Speak. And Terah said to the king, Ai, son of Mored, came to me yesterday, saying, Give unto me the great and beautiful horse that the king gave thee, and I will give thee silver and gold and straw and provender for its value. And I said to him, Wait till I see the king concerning thy words. And behold, whatever the king saith, that will I do. And now, my lord and king, behold, I have made this thing known to thee, and the advice which my king will give unto his servant, that I will follow. And the king heard the words of Terah, and his anger was kindled, and he considered him in the light of a fool. And the king answered Terah, and he said to him, Art thou so silly, ignorant, or deficient of understanding, to do this thing, to give thy beautiful horse for silver and gold, or even for straw, for provender? Art thou so short of silver and gold, that thou shouldest do this thing, because thou canst not obtain straw and provender to feed thy horse? And what is silver and gold to thee, or straw and provender, that thou shouldst give away that fine horse which I gave thee, like which there is none to be had in the whole earth? And the king left off speaking, and Terah answered the king, saying, Like unto this has the king spoken to his servant. I beseech thee, my lord and king, what is this which thou didst say unto me, saying, Give thy son, that we may slay him, and I will give thee silver and gold for his value. What shall I do with the silver and gold after the death of my son?
Say the same thing you telling me about my son. How you gonna say that about the horse? Come on, brother.
Who shall inherit me? Surely then, at my death, the silver and gold will return to my king who gave it.
Straight up. Come on.
And when the king heard the words of Terah and the parable which he brought concerning the king, it grieved him greatly, and he was vexed at this thing. And his anger burned within him. And Terah saw that the anger of the king was kindled against him. And he answered the king, saying, all that I have is in the king's power. Whatever the king desires to do to his servant, let him do. Yeah, even my son. He is in the king's power, without value in exchange. He and his 2 brothers that are older than he. And the king said to Terah, no, but I will purchase thy young son for a price. And Terah answered the king, saying, I beseech thee, my lord and king, to let thy servant speak a word before thee, and let the king hear the word of his servant. And Terah said, let the king give me 3 days' time till I consider this matter within myself, and consult with my family concerning the words of my king. And he pressed the king greatly to agree to this. And the king hearkened to Terah, and he did so, and gave him 3 days' time. And Terah went out from the king's presence, and he came home to his family, and spoke to them all the words of the king. And thy people were greatly afraid. And it was in the 3rd day that the king sent to Terah, saying, send me thy son for a price, as I have spoken to thee. And shouldest thou not do this, I will send and slay all thou hast in thy house, so that thou shalt not even have a dog remaining.
Them right, time's up. You better send them, or I'm knocking everybody. Come on, bro.
And your dog.
And Terah hastened, as the thing was urgent from the king. And he took a child from one of his servants, which his handmaid had born to him that day. And Terah brought the child to the king and received value for him.
So he swapped out children. Wild, ain't it?
Yeah.
See what had to go on in the ancient world? Come on, bro.
And the Lord was with Terah in this matter, that Nimrod might not cause Abraham's death. And the king took the child from Terah, and with all his might dashed his head to the ground, for he thought it had been Abraham. And this was concealed from him from that day, and it was forgotten by the king. And it was the will of the providence not to suffer Abraham's death.
Like all the young Hebrews that were slaughtered during the time of Christ, Herod, see, when they know their throne is in jeopardy, they get to kill him because they don't want to have to deal with that problem later on. So they come through and kill all the children. You feel me? Same thing with Abraham. He thought that was Abraham. Killed that little baby. Took the child, slammed the head up against the wall. Why? Because he's in fear of losing his throne and that power. Right? He knew if they saw that star up there like that, the way they saying, my throne and kingdom is in jeopardy. I might as well take care of it now. So Terah, Abraham's father, swap out children. Yeah, that's a very tough thing to do. You feel me? Well, as we keep reading, you're going to see what happened. Had he not done that, Abraham would have never been called a friend of the Most High. You feel me? Isaac never come, Jacob never come, 12 tribes don't come. Christ was born right through that same lineage. You feel me? So certain things got to happen. So the word of the Lord can't be fulfilled. That's the part of the Bible everybody wants to stay away from. Don't like that. Right? But that lets you know it's the truth. Because, I mean, if somebody was on some plagiarized, they would have took that out. Right. Let's leave all the soothing parts of the Bible. Take everything else out. Right. See that? It don't hide itself on what you would call its ugly side or its good side. It tell you right flat out, right in your face. This is what happened. All right, let's get it. Where we at? Chapter 9. Who we need to go to next? We only read 19 verses in chapter 9. Did you finish that? You ain't finished that though, did you?
No, still.
You finished it.
Verse. And Terah took Abraham, his son, secretly, together with his mother and nurse, and he concealed them in a cave. And he brought them their provisions monthly. And the Lord was with Abraham in the cave, and he grew up. And Abraham cave 10 years, and the king of his presence, the king and his princesses, soothsayers, and sage thought that the king had killed Abraham.
So you see right off the back at birth, Abraham's life is in jeopardy. Remember we talking about the faith of Abraham, all right? I should go to the very next chapter, chapter 9. One of the brothers grab it, 1 through 19. And y'all need to get this book of Joshua if you ain't got it. It's action-packed. Yeah, but then also how John the Baptist had to hide. You feel me? He had to hide in the school. Feel me? But yeah, y'all need to get this book right here, the book of Joshua. It's part of the Bible. It's action-packed, all type of wars, everything, you know.
It don't cost much, it's about $15 on Amazon, so it's not much.
Let's get into chapter 9. Let's get some more of this. Let's get it, bro.
Chapter 9. Starting with verse 1. And Haran, the son of Terah, Abram's oldest brother, took a wife in those days. Haran was 39 years old when he took her, and the wife of Haran conceived and bare a son. He called his name Lot.
So Lot, daddy is Haran. All right? Abraham's brother. Come on, brother.
And she conceived again and bare a daughter. She called her name Milcah. And she again conceived and bare a daughter. And she called her name Sarah.
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 See that? Come on, brother.
Haran was 42 years old when he began Sarah. Which was in the 10th year of the life of Abraham. In those days, Abram and his mother and nurse went out from the cave, as the king and his subjects had forgotten the affair of Abram. And when Abram came out from the cave, he went to Noah.
He went to who?
Noah. And his son Shem. And he remained with them to learn the instructions of the Lord and his ways. And no man knew where Abram was. And Abram served Noah and Shem his son for a long time.
See that? So Abraham comes out the cave and goes and gets taught by Shem and Noah. It's the true worship of the Most High. Right? So he gets hid in the cave for 10 years, come up out the cave, go stay with his great-great-granddaddy now. And learn about the Lord. Right? Action-packed life. There's all type of stuff going on. Come on, brother.
Verse 6. Verse 6. And Abram was in Noah's house 39 years.
How long?
39 years.
So he's 49 now. So he, in essence, he was raised by Shem and them. You see that? Now when we get to it later on in this same book, it's going to identify Melchizedek as Shem.
That's right.
Right? So now, okay, of course Abraham will bring him off a tenth of the spoils of war. That's who raised him. It's his great-great-granddad who taught him the instructions of the Most High before Moses got it on Mount Sinai. The worship of God was already in the earth. It's passed down from the righteous line, Adam, Seth, Enoch, Methuselah, Shem, Noah, all them on down. To Abraham, the order and worship of God was passed down pre-flood, after flood, and kept to a specific lineage. Starting with Adam, down to Seth, Enoch, all them. Go ahead, brother. Yeah. So you got brothers, fathers that taught their sons. Even though most of the world would have went off and started being wicked again. You feel me? You got brothers that was preserved with the instruction of the Lord directly from Adam, Seth, Enoch, Methuselah, on down. Yeah. Right? Because through that very same bloodline, Christ must come. Alright, so this shows you the law and instructions of God was in the earth before Moses even got there. That was a reteaching. They had to be retaught after being in Egypt in slavery for so many hundreds of years. You have to be retaught the instruction of God. Alright, go ahead, brother.
Well, I think it's important to point out that his dad, Abraham's dad, comes from the same bloodline.
Yeah.
You know, and it said that the Lord was on him. Like, we know he went off.
Yeah.
Right. When the Lord was on him.
Yeah.
They produced it so Abraham lived.
Yeah. And also notice this, his daddy was an idolater. get into it in a minute. Go ahead, brother. Not giving it to the Levitical priest, like going right to the priest and giving it wasn't set up. But they had knowledge of sacrificing the earth. They was building altars and all that. That knowledge was there. They go back to Abel getting killed. You feel me? But as for taking it to a priest and having it atoned for and all that, you feel me? They wasn't doing none of that. Yeah, it's called the schoolmaster in Galatians 3, verse 19 on down. It's called the schoolmaster. So trip off this. You have to be retaught the ways of God after being in slavery for hundreds of years. Right? They get handed the instructions of God even though it had been there already. Saying that's what I'm talking about. They will put them under the schoolmaster to be retaught. He kept telling them, don't learn the ways of Egypt. Let Egypt go. When you go into Canaan, don't do that. Don't do what they doing. Child sacrifice and they doing that. So they had to put them under a schoolmaster until Christ came and redeemed that which was already lost. You feel me? So it was all prophesied to happen anyway because before the Levitical priesthood, they was under the order of Melchizedek. Same thing. All right, come on, bro, let's get it.
Verse 6 again. Yeah. Abraham was in Noah's house 39 years. And Abram knew the Lord for 3 years, from 3 years old. And he went in the way of the Lord until the day of his death. And Noah, his son Shem, had taught him. And all the sons of the earth in those days greatly transgressed against the Lord.
Notice it says Noah and his son Shem had taught him. So that's how Abraham got his instruction. He didn't just wake up, yawn, and have it. He was taught. All right? Come on, brother.
And they rebelled against him. And they served other gods. And they forgot the Lord who has created them in the earth and the inhabitants of the earth, made unto themselves at that time every man his God, gods of wood and stone, which could neither speak, hear, nor deliver. And his sons of men served them, and they became their gods.
It's nothing new. Same thing going on. Idolatry at its highest. The Roman Vatican Church, idolatry. Buddhism, idolatry. Hindu, idolatry. No matter what you're talking about, same thing is going on. They got wood and stone is what you use to make idols. Right? They set up an idol, then there come ceremonies and sacrifices attached to the idol. And you look up, you done made the God, and you get your kneecaps dusted, bow to that God. That don't make sense. So the Lord called that a great evil. Men go off and doing that. Why? Because there's instructions and discipline in serving the real God. He don't just let you do whatever you want to do. You held to a certain standard. The mother gods, you can do whatever you want to do. But serving this God, you held to a certain standard. This is what it is. You get scared though, but you under rules when you go to work. Right? Go to school, you're under rules. You driving, you're under rules. So why, when it comes to serve your God, that's just too much for me. I just don't like that stuff. You just want to do what you want to do. You just being rebellious. Just like the sons of men think. All right, brother, come on.
Chapter 9, verse 7. And the king and all his servants in terror with all his household were then the first of those that served gods of wood and stone.
See that Abraham's whole house, so you can't talk like, well, you was raised doing this.
Right.
Abraham's whole house was idolaters. Feel me? You grew up under the Christmas tree. So the Abraham's father. Abraham had to do a righteous rebellion and get up out of there. You feel me? It's time for you to serve the Lord. You can't, because your whole family was idolaters, don't mean that's going to fly for you. The chain gonna have to get broke somewhere. All right, come on, brother.
Verse 8. And Terah had 12 gods of large size, made of wood and stone, after the 12 months of the year. And he served each one month.
Each one what?
Month.
So this month he served a whole other God. It's Abraham dad. Come on, brother.
Every month Terah would bring the meat offering and the drink offering of his gods. Thus did Terah all the days.
See, every month bringing drink offerings and meat offerings to these gods he made as if they gonna eat or drink. Come on, bro.
Verse 10. And there was not a man found in those days in the whole earth who knew the Lord.
Woo! Woo! Come on.
For they served each man his own God.
They served each man his own God, like today. You get to talking about the God of the Bible is like speaking Chinese to folk. Everybody do their own thing now. I'm into Scientology, Dianetics, and all type of madness. Louis Farrakhan sold out to Dianetics and Scientology. Look that up.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Louis Farrakhan is defending Scientology. Come on, bro.
Except Noah and his household, and all those who were under his counsel knew the Lord in those days.
His household, everybody in his counsel knew the Lord. So you see, even though the whole earth go off and do what they want to do, Abraham and his house stick to the script. All right, come on, bro.
Verse 11.
Noah in his house, should I say. Come on, bro.
And Abram the son of Terah was waxing great in those days in the house of Noah. No man knew it. The Lord was with him.
Next verse, last verse.
And the Lord gave Abram an understanding heart. And he knew all the works of the generations were vain. And that all their gods were vain and were no avail.
And whatever, no avail. All right, let's jump over 2 chapters. Chapter 11 is where we going next. Chapter 11, Brother read start at verse 13. We just laying the foundation on what's up with Abraham. Alright, now we see they was coming for his life when he was born. He go to a cave for 10 years, come out, he get raised by Noah and Shem and them, and the instructions of the Most High. Get on down to this chapter 11. Chapter, dang, I went too far. Hold on, Brian. I went too far. Y'all deal with me for a second real quick. I don't see how this deal with me.
If you click on the little things on the left, you can pull back up the table of contents, right? It's my left, your right.
My right? Where?
Wait, my right, your left.
Okay, one more.
In the side, right there, go down. If you click on that,
Where?
one of those, yeah.
Now you go back to the chapter.
I see it. Bang. That's right. That's right. Talk about it. We're going to get it done. Y'all bear with your brother. Have a little patience.
Oh, you got to get it.
Somebody got to.
Alright, now let's get this. Start at verse 13. Now we in that 50th verse of Abraham's life. Go ahead, brother. One of Terah's sons. One of his sons that he had by one of his concubines or something. They don't put the name on there, no. No, but it was one of his sons. Alright, let's get this. Chapter 11, start at verse 13, brother.
Everybody heard? Joshua chapter 11. Verse 13. And in the 50th year of the life of Abraham, son of Terah, Abram came forth from the house of Noah and went to his father.
So he's been gone 50 years. Half a century, right? Come on.
And Abram knew the Lord. And he went in his father's ways and instructions.
And he went in his ways.
I'm sorry, read that again, verse 14. And Abram knew the Lord and went in his ways and instructions. And the Lord his God was with him. And Terah, his father, was in those days still the captain of the host of King Nimrod. And he still followed strange gods.
Now that's another spin on Abraham's father actually was the leader of Nimrod's army. The captain of the host. What you think that means? Host mean army. He the war general for Nimrod. Abraham's dad. Really? Okay, come on.
Verse 16. And Abram came to his father's house and saw 12 gods standing there in their temples. And the anger of Abram was kindled when he saw these images in his father's house.
Of course, he's been raised by Shem and Noah in them 50 plus years. Of course. Like, hold on, what is all this? This is pure violation. Come on, bro.
Verse 17. And Abram said, as the Lord liveth, these images should not remain in my father's house. So shall the Lord who created me do unto me, if in 3 days' time I do not break them off.
Today, you know what you'll say today, right? God is not with him. If you witness one of these Hebrews in here, go into their daddy house and get to destroying around Christmas time, you gonna say, oh no, God is not with him. You feel me? You're not even gonna say that. You feel me? Ain't nobody telling y'all to go burn the people's house down. But showing you what it was. In ancient words, your belief is very important. You have to stand on it. You have to, even your life is threatened. You see that? So Abraham said, I'm destroying these gods right here. Let's keep reading.
Verse 18. And Abram went from them, and his anger burned within him. And Abram hastened and went from the chambers of his father's outer court. And he found his father sitting in the court, and all his servants with him. And Abram came and sat before him. And Abram asked his father, saying, Father, tell me, where is God? Who created heaven and earth, and all the sons of men upon earth? And who created thee and me? And Terah answered his son, Abram, and said, Behold, those who created us are all with us in the house.
Yeah, we're all tired. That daddy turned that right now. Wow. Wow.
You made the God that made you.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy right there, man. So don't think you're going to do something new. You feel me? You're the only one standing for the truth amongst your people and all that. Right. It ain't nothing new. You feel me? It's naturally going to be some type of spiritual contention. If you represent the truth and then they come with some type of falsehood, it's going to be that. You got it a little easier now. Back then, your people would have sold you out to the king. And had you thrown in the fiery furnace for. You feel me? So you got it a little easier now. But the persecution of the saints is on its way back around. You feel me? So the very faith that Abraham had, that he learned, and that he acquired, is about to get tested. You feel me? It's the last battle now. You feel me? Wait till you in front of them flames. Deny your God. Huh? They feeding that fire. You hear it crack. Pop! Woo! You feel me? Y'all done barbecued in here before. You can't get too close to that flame. You know what it is. See what I'm saying? But do you really believe what it is the Lord said, or don't you? That's what is going to be tested in that day. Everybody's faith here is going to be tested. Let's get it, brother.
Verse 20. And Abram said to his father, My Lord, show them to me, I pray.
I beg thee, show me. Come on.
Terah brought Abram into the chamber of the inner court. And Abram saw, and behold, the whole room was full of gods, wood and stone, 12 great images, and other less than they without number.
Wow.
21. And Terah said to his son, Behold, these are they which made all thou seest upon the earth, and which created me and thee and all mankind.
Now, mind you, his daddy made these gods he pointed to. He said, these are gods that made everything. You, me, everything you see. And all mankind. Wow, okay. What else happened? Verse 22.
And Terah bowed down to his God, and he then went away from them. And Abram, his son, went away with him. And when Abram had gone from them, he went to his mother and sat before her. And he said to his mother, Behold, my father has shown me those who made heaven and earth, and all the sons of men. Now therefore, hasten and fetch a kid from the flock, and make of it savory meat, that I may bring it to my father's gods as an offering for them to eat. Perhaps I may thereby become acceptable to them. And his mother did so. And she fetched the kid, and made savory meat thereof, and brought it to Abram. And Abram took the savory meat from his mother, brought it before his father's gods. And they